everyone, I'm here editing today's video, and I just wanted to come up here and update everyone on this situation. So I have come up. This has been a very hard decision. It's been over 2 years of me running Spurs News Arabic, but it's come to the conclusion that I'm not getting as much interactions as we have hoped. So we will change. So we will no longer go by Spurs News Arabic or SNA, and we have officially changed our name to Tottenham Zone. And I hope that you enjoy the amazing content that we are coming up with. It's gonna be better than ever. But of course, you're here to watch today's podcast. So enough of me talking. Enjoy the pod, lads. Let's go.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the SNA podcast. I can't remember what episode number this is, but I'm joined by my co-host Charlie. Second appearance on the podcast for you. How are you doing, mate?
I'm good, man. It's been a while. Hope there's some good news coming. Hopefully some more news follows, but we'll get into that.
Yeah, and for the first time on the podcast, we've got two. Well, I say three guests. I mean, two co-hosts and a guest, but third guest is CBGRPHX. How are you doing, mate?
I'm doing good.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Should we get on with it, Charlie? Yeah.
Yeah, let's go, man. I'll let you kick off proceedings, and then we'll go from there.
Okay, sweet. So this episode's going to be about the potential signings that we're making. Well, one signing we've already made officially, but two coming hopefully soon. So the three signings are Pierluigi Golini, who's an Italian goalkeeper from Atalanta, who signed a season-long loan with an option to buy for about 13 million euros.
Mm-hmm.
Second signing is Brian Hill from Sevilla for about 25 million euros, with Eric Lamela going the other way. And thirdly is Cristian Romero, also from Atalanta, who's a centre back for roughly, not exactly, but about 45 to 50 million euros. So we'll kick off with Golini first. What do you think about that?
I'm excited, man. I'm excited. We need a new keeper. Lloris, I love him, man. He has been a servant. I hope this year he finally gets some silverware to lift with Tottenham, because he deserves it so much. Because he's been through us with the AVB, the Tim Sherwood. He's been through us with everything. So he deserves something this year. But when I listen to the interviews with Galini, like he's confident and he's excited to work under Lloris. But he said he's here for the future. So he knows this year is going to be a tough year to get game time. But he knows he's here for the future, and I hope he impresses.
Yeah, man. I think just basically following what you're saying. I mean, I think without saying too much, I think this will be Lloris's last season at Tottenham. His contract expires at the end of the season, and I did read reports that they were trying to offer him a new contract, but I do think this will be his last year.
Mm-hmm.
So I think how it'll work is Golini and Lloris will fight for the number one spot. Golini will probably be number two majority, and then next season Golini will take over number one. So, yeah, I mean, he's 26 years old, which is not old for a goalkeeper at all. Lloris is like 34, so, yeah, but he's 26 years old. He's kept 10 clean sheets in Serie A last season. He's played in the Champions League, so a very high level. He kept a clean sheet at Anfield against Liverpool in the Champions League last season, so that's promising. And he's also a rapper, so he's got many facets to his bow.
Wow.
So yeah, just not really much to say on that side, I suppose. Just he'll be a good backup, I think, this season, and then next season he'll come into it. So yeah, hopefully he seems excited about joining, and really happy to be joining. So that's what we want at the new project, is people that want to join and people that want to play for Tottenham. So that's a good sign.
Of course.
secondly is Brian Hill. Now, this is an interesting one because this sort of came out of nowhere. Sorry, 1 second. This sort of came out of nowhere, sorry. I think it was last maybe Wednesday afternoon. Fabrizio Romano brought the story exclusively that we were in talks to sign Brian Hill from Sevilla, a young 20-year-old wonder kid, highly regarded in Spain, with the nickname, I think, Little Cruyff or something.
Little Cruyff, yeah.
Yeah. With Eric Linnell going the other way for about 25 million euros, as I said in the intro. I think for me, I'll let you have your say in a minute, Charles, but for me, I think this is a great deal because number one, we're getting a bright young talent in for quite cheap. Sevilla fans are really disappointed about letting him go, and it seems Spanish football as a whole regard this guy like a next big thing for them. So I think we're getting a good deal, and also offloading. I don't really call it deadwood. That seems harsh, but it is deadwood because Linnell's been here a long time. He's not really contributed much, so I think it's a great deal for all involved. And Linnell can go and get some probably the regular first team football with Sevilla. I've just seen a leaked photo tonight of him on the big screen in the stadium at Sevilla, like with his kit on. So I'm guessing that'll be announced probably tomorrow or Tuesday. So yeah, what are your thoughts on that, mate?
I think it could be amazing for us. First of all, I love Lamella's passion for the club, but I just don't think his
Yeah.
skill level is always. I think injuries have hampered him. He's had so many injuries, man. I feel for him. I think he made the wrong decision coming to the Prem. I think if he went to La Liga all those years ago, he would have been unbelievable. But I think the physicality here just you see him when he plays Europa League games and plays Europe, he thrives. But he plays in the Prem and he goes missing a bit. But I think it's Brian Hill. I think I'm not going to get too excited, man, because how many wonder kids do you hear come to different countries and just you never hear them again? But as you said, everyone in Spain is like, how have we cooped this? But you know what this comes down to? Fabio Parateschi, or however you pronounce his name.
Yeah.
He done the same thing with Chiesa a few years back. He done the same with if you look at his track record, young players that no one ever not heard of, but just unexpected signings because this came out of nowhere, as we said. And when there was an article that came out at the same time about how Fabio does his workings, he finds youth. He knows that he's always watching football, and obviously he saw him and was like, "This is what we're gonna do. No one's gonna see it coming." And 25 million euros. So what's that? 18 million, 19 million.
Something
And then when you think about losing Lamella, he's last year of the contract, 29. You're not going to get much for him. What's he on? 120k a week. So we're taking that off the wage bill for the whole season. So we're going to save a lot there. And that Brian Gill, I guess Brian Hill is going to be on what 50k. So it's a great deal for us. And I think he's going to get a lot of game time in the Conference League. And he could be unreal for us. I hope he is for the future. But yeah, what do you think about that, CB?
Well, I think it's a great deal, personally. If you just look at his stats from last season, 4 goals, 4 assists in 30 games, and you compare that to Bergwijn, he's got 1 goal and 7 assists. And it's like, well, to me, it seems like Brian Gill's more of a rounded player. He seems a lot better than Bergwijn, a lot better than Lamella. But then you never know because Lamella, when he first joined back
Same thing.
on the AVB, it was a promising young player for
Same
about
exact thing
30
here.
million. And we all thought, oh, he's going to be a class signing. And then it turns out it's injury record. So I think it's just a matter of keeping him fit. If we can keep him fit and we can develop him, from what I've heard from Sevilla fans, he's very good on the ball. He's a very good skiller. He can get past players. Obviously, it would test the physicality of the Premier League. He'll have to work really hard for that. But most of the Sevilla fans said if he can get his finishing on track, if he can get his assist and his finished product a lot better, then they said he could be one of the best. So
And what
I'm looking forward to it.
and what I'm excited about, CB, is how many traditional wingers do you get nowadays that are left foot that play on the left wing? Because everyone wants to cut in and play on
Yeah.
the opposite side now. And I've seen a few comparisons to Sane with Brian Hill. So Which I think Sane is a phenomenal talent. I don't know what's happened to him at Germany right now. I think injuries or
Yeah.
something. But I feel the Conference League this year could be crucial for him. And I know you brought out Bergwijn a lot and the stats this year with Brian Hill, 4 goals, 4 assists. He was also playing in like one of the worst teams in La Liga and still like balling out,
Yeah,
which I think
that's eyebrow.
is very good. And but Bergwijn, I want to pose you a question right now. If, because the rumors are Ajax want him and he wouldn't mind going back to the Netherlands. If we get 25 million, what we paid for him, do you sell him?
Yeah.
I don't know. I really don't know because he has potential. It's clear that he has potential. And if you look at it, if we're selling him, we're going to need to bring in another winger because
You
we're
say that,
already.
you say that, but I don't think we do. I think we have, we sold Bergwijn, we get that 25 million. And I think we got Sessegnon. Everyone forgets we got Sessegnon back now.
Yeah, it's
And I
true.
know people were saying he could be a left back or a left wing. He can play the whole left side. And I think that gives us another dimension. And I think everyone has forgotten about Sessegnon, and I think that's good because he's going to come back, he's going to start playing, and everyone's going to be like, "Oh my god, we have him!" And obviously, if he hits
Yeah,
the heights of what he was doing that time the season before we signed him, like we got a class player. It looks like he's bulked up a little bit in Germany, and
yeah,
hopefully he can bring some of that Sancho flair with him. So I don't think the thing is, even if we lose Bergwijn, I don't care. Like he hasn't really showed me anything. He showed glimpses, but glimpses are glimpses. Like people say he didn't have enough game time. How many games did he play under Mourinho? Um,
35.
that's what. So like, and even I don't know if you saw the friendly against. I think it was against Colchester or Orient. Son scored,
Yeah.
and it
It's
was like Bergwijn should have finished it, but he has no confidence
Yeah,
to shoot, so he
no
squirts. So I'm like,
confidence.
and that's a friendly. So I'm like, if 25 million comes in for him, I think Levy will be like, you know what, I've not lost anything on him. Let me get my money back, and then we've got that
Yeah,
25 million to reinvest.
yeah. I don't know. See, I rate Bergwijn. I think he's a good player. I think all this like crack shaming and things online is just a bit ridiculous. But I think he's a good player. I think he's got potential. But it's a tricky one with him because I want to see him. I want to see him succeed so much, but at the same time, like 25 million, I think
Take
that's a
it, take
great
it.
bit of money, and that could go towards like a big other signing. Like not to say pay for it,
That
but
could
like
be. I don't want to get into the topics later in the show, but like our centre backs, if we get the rumors like Romario and Kunde, or with that's what that 25 million could do for us. But
yeah,
I guess
yeah,
if we're talking about defenders before we move to incomings, what about Alderweireld? That was another shock. How quick did that happen?
yeah,
literally hours. It was hours, wasn't
Hours.
it?
Like the
Yeah,
news broke, and then it was like he's already in Dubai. I'm like, or Qatar, wherever it is, and I'm like, wow. And what I need to say before I ask you your opinions on it, we signed him for 12 million back in what 2015, 16 from
yeah.
Atletico Madrid, and at the time, him and Vertonghen had 3 seasons where they was probably the best partnership in the Premier League, and we're now selling him for 13 million. I think Levy and Fabio Parasiti has done like a masterclass there because he wanted to leave. He said he wanted to leave, and we've still recouped all that money for him. So yeah, lads, take it away.
So yeah, go on, CB. You can go first, mate.
all right. Yeah, so I think with this Toby Alderweireld transfer, I think it's the perfect timing. I think he shouldn't have left last season because we would have been so unexperienced at the back, even though we were dreadful at the back. But I think this season he has to go. If we're going to bring in these centre backs that we're hearing about, if we're going to start doing this, Toby wouldn't have been first on my list. I think it would have been Sanchez Dyer. I would have rather seen go, but Toby, £14 million is decent money. He's obviously going to Qatar to get his good wage. He's going
Of
to get
course,
his nice little wage. So it's a good move for all of us, I think.
yeah.
Toby, he had to go. He was getting a bit older, getting a bit slower. And I think, the 3 seasons we got with him were amazing,
Oh,
but we're never going to see that again. We're never going to see that again. So I think it's a new era. We need to move on. As much as I love the player, as much as I love the man, he needs to go. I think
you
we
know,
need to bring in brand new players, bring in brand new everything.
and with Toby going, I'll let you cut in a second, Alex. I think what that gives us, it gives Rodon and it gives Tanganga an extra chance to shine. It gives them a chance to play more. I know we're going to bring in other centre backs, but losing Toby gives Tanganga and Rodon more time to get a game, and I think that's who we should be trying to promote within our own ranks in a minute before other signings. But go on, Alex, what's your views on Toby?
My view on Toby is I think it's a good deal.
Yeah,
I also think I was surprised at how quick it happened. Like it was literally like I said, a matter of hours. Like oh he's on play, oh he's signed.
yeah.
But the thing for me is the transfer fee is good, and they want to leave, but it's the wages. The wage he's on like 140 grand a week. Like
I know,
that can
madness.
pay for two players' wages.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the wages for me is a sticking point. I think that's the best deal.
You know what I think we're seeing a pattern here with Lamella, with Toby, and I think you're going to see it with Sanchez. You're going to see it with Sissoko when they go because they will go.
Yeah,
Fabio Parasiti, he has got a plan, and Levy has said just deal with the football stuff. And I think what he knows what he wants. He has spoke to Nuno, and he's like, look, this Deadwood, it's got to go. Like no sentiments. You can't be sentimental over Lamella because he's been here this long, and Toby because whatever if they're going, I'm going to get them wages off, and we're going to use that to make this team even better. And I think it needed to happen, man. I know you said CB you wanted maybe to see Sanchez or Dyer go first. I think the reason Sanchez hasn't gone yet because I think that they're waiting on Seville and Kunde. I
Yeah,
think
they've got a lot of leeway in that Sanchez
yeah,
saga because 30 million for Sanchez is decent. You know, he's not shown a lot. He's shown glimpses, but he's not shown a lot. So I think if we can throw him in another deal, I think that's perfect.
yeah. So I think the thing. So look, we've got rid of Toby. The Romario looks like it's going to be done because he wants to come. Fabrizio's already said it that he wants to come. It's just now down to Tottenham and Atalanta to secure the deal, which I have no doubt will go through. So that's that. I think it's just Dyer. I'm not sure if he will be here. Part of me just wants to see him go because he annoys me so much. But the only reason I would want him, there's only one reason I want him to stay is because of experience. Because you look at that
Yeah.
back line, there's no Prem experience in it. But what I can say is you've got Ben Davis who can be that leader in defence. Even when he's not
Yeah.
playing, at least he can carry that experience. But you say about experience, you look at flipping Diaz, he came this year to Man City and he absolutely tore it up. So all this, they need Prem experience. If they're a class player, they can do their thing. So I think that takes us into we're talking about class players. Romario, who wants to kick that off?
yeah. I'll kick that off.
Go on, Alex.
Yeah. The third rumored signing. I think the most exciting out of the three. Maybe you could say Brian Hill, but I think this is the most exciting. If we pull this off, I don't think people realise just how good this guy is. This guy won MVP of Defender of the Year in Serie A.
Mm-hmm.
Like he won the Copa America with Argentina earlier. He had a good Copa America. Like this guy is only young. He's got Champions League experience. This is quick. You know, he was sort of a leader in that Atalanta back line as well. I don't know if you've seen that video of him getting back on Lukaku and nicking the ball off
The
him.
Ledley Kin one. He looks exactly
Yeah,
like Ledley Kin in that position against Robin. Yep, I've seen that video.
yeah,
Oh,
stuff like that. I'm not saying he'll do that every week for us, but like this is such a good signing. And before we talk about Romero, just a quick word on how happy I am with Javier Paratici. I know you touched on it, Charles, but the ruthlessness and the quickness that he's getting these
yep.
deals done. I've not seen it at Tottenham before. I've been a supporter, a long time, but like I've not seen it at Tottenham before. Like this is what's been holding us back for so many years: indecisiveness in the market, not buying players, but selling dead
Yep.
wood like Lamella and Alvaro that should have gone years ago, especially Lamella should have gone years ago. And this is what I'm so happy with. Like you said, Charlie, he's got a plan. Going forward, he knows what we want. I can't help but think this season's going to be a lot more exciting and
Mm-hmm.
optimistic than it was, when we first played in Nuno, everybody was
Yep.
down. Oh God, wanted Ten Hag, wanted Pochettino, wanted Conte. I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, I was in that same boat. I think we discussed that on the podcast, when you came on before. But I think Baratici's turned it around and like just yeah, hats off to him, and I can see why people call him the best Irish footballer in the world, because
Yep.
for my money, he probably is. So yeah,
And I think also, before you jump in on this, CB, when people looking at the finances, how are we financing this deal for Mario? We've just got 13 million for Toby. We got 15 million for Foyth. That's
yeah,
already that's already what, 28 million. And then we obviously got other sales that are going to happen. So that Romario deal sort of funds itself in a sense. And because we haven't got Lamella on the wage bill no more. We haven't got Toby on the wage bill, Foyth on the wage bill. It's already like we've got that money to say, here, look, Romero, here's your 60K a week. And then we only need to sell another player. Like we got Cameron Carter Vickers, who looks like he might be off to Newcastle or someone for five. How are we still having him on our books is ridiculous. Like, but it looks like we're going to get 5 million for him. So that takes us up to what, 30 something million, and that's the Romario deal practically. The finances for it done there. So
yeah.
and then it all goes up to other signings. And then it goes to, if we get, I don't want to get too excited, but Kunde, if we can somehow pull off Kunde, Romario, Reguilon at left back, and then a right back who we still need, maybe Matt Doherty, I don't know. We will see. But yeah, I'm going to let CB take over next, man, regarding the whole Romario situation. How excited are you?
Yeah, over the moon. If it happens, I'm over the moon. I saw a tweet earlier that Alistair Gold, he said the deal's complicated, but he could see it happening. So that's obviously always a positive because he knows the club.
Yeah, yeah.
Something I did just want to talk about is the fact that a lot of people, they said about Son and Kane were our only goal scorers last season. We relied so much on them. And there's a part of Romero that no one has really spoke about, and it's his goals and assists. Last
Okay.
season, he got 5 assists and 3 goals. And yeah, not a lot, but for a centre back, a decent amount. Toby Alderweireld only got 1 goal last
Wait.
season, got no
Oh my God.
assists.
Like
So I
there was a time. Sorry to cut you off, CB, but I remember when our defense would be like our peak season, our last season at White Hart Lane. Everyone was chipping in with goals. Our left back, our
yeah.
right
Yeah,
back. Like
yeah.
we've missed that. We've been starved, and I don't know why that's happened. But now you brought this stat up. I didn't even know about this. If Romero can add 3 goals and a couple of assists a season, that just takes the workload off. But yeah, man, carry on, bro. Carry on.
Yeah, it's like I think that's why it's so important because if you look at Toby Alderweireld, he picked up some important goals against Manchester United, Arsenal back in the day. They were goals that almost practically won us the game. So I think if Romero he can chip in with a goal, an assist, it can just boost our attacks so much. When we were relying on that 1-0 against Fulham and then we concede last minute, we
Oh,
don't have to rely on that because Romero can knock in a goal one day and we'll go 2-0 up and it will coast clear against these lower league teams that we struggle so badly against. We can get these goals. We don't have to rely on Kane if he's having an off day, if Son's having an off day. We can rely on these centre backs, these left backs, these right wingers to just get a goal, pick it in, and then we'll take it as a team.
I love that. I love that. Alex, where do you want to lead to next?
I mean, we've talked about all three signings in
Yeah,
detail
yeah.
there in a couple of outwards. I just wanted, it's not really the main focus of the podcast, but I just want to talk about a couple of outgoings, not confirmed obviously, but rumoured. Firstly, the two outgoings I want to talk about is Harry Winks and Serge Aurier, and we'll throw in Mrs. as well.
Hmm.
I just want to know what you guys thought of like the potential of them going out. I think Winks. I don't rate Winks as a player. Like he used to be good, but like last season it's poor. And even in his friendlies, like his touch and he's like he does some okay passes, but like I just no. I think we need to move him on. And the rumour here is 25 million from either Everton or Aston Villa. So I think that'd be a good deal on Aurier as well. So I just wanted to know what you guys thought of like
Yeah.
potential outlets.
I'll jump in on this before CB. Regarding the potential fee for Winks, I know he's not been the best for us recently, but 2 years ago, 3 years ago, there was 2 seasons where he looked like he was going to cement his place in the England team. He was going to do this, he was going to do that, but he's regressed. But I think he might be like Lingard. Lingard went away to West Ham, had 6 month loan, and was just look. He's a brand new player again, and I think Winks needs a whole new scenery. He needs a change, and I think 20 million, 25 million is 20 for a 24, 25-year-old English player. I think that's actually a very good deal when I'm seeing other money thrown around for players that aren't half as good as him or just whatever. So the experience he brings for 20 million, 25 million, get him out the door. We got Oliver Skip, and that ball, I know, hopefully you guys saw it. He played a crossfield
Yeah.
pass the other day.
Yeah.
I've never seen Winks do that in his whole life, and if he has, it wasn't on purpose. That was He was doing that last year for Norwich, and now I'm seeing him doing it. I'm like, him and Pierre, Højbjerg in the middle. It's Pierre can rotate now with Skip, and then I don't want to get too excited. It's Tottenham. Let's not get too excited. But then regarding our other outgoings, we've said Sanchez, we've said Dyer. It all depends on how our incomings come on that. But Aurier, he's definitely gone. It's just when the offer comes in, and who we bring in for him, I don't know, because I know the Japanese international we wanted just picked up an ankle injury. So we might have to look elsewhere. And then Sissoko looks like he's going as well. It's just a matter of when we conclude that deal. I guess Fabio Paratici, that's probably going to be his hardest ever job, is trying to get a club to buy Sissoko. But he'll find a way. He'll find a way. I think we'll probably get for Serge and for Sissoko, because I think they're both in the last year of their contracts. We'll probably get about 20 million combined for both of them, which then goes towards another player. But yeah, let's just get some of that deadwood gone, man. Get more of it gone, and then let's not get too excited for the season because it is Tottenham. But yeah, things are looking brighter than it was a few weeks ago. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say there. That's how I'll finish my little sentence today.
Yeah, go on, CB.
Yeah, I think just to wrap things up, I just wanted to make the point that it reminds me of the 2014-15 season where we cleared all our deadwood after that first
Yes.
season with Poch. You know, we were seeing Paulinho go for money, we were seeing Capoue go for money, and we were seeing Lewis Holtby go, and we're like, these are all players that we don't want. But the bad thing about getting rid of all these players, as bad as they were, is the squad depth it lacked. We lacked in squad depth because I remember back in 2015-16 where we were going for the league title, everyone said it was our squad depth. We didn't have that, substitution to bring on. So I think that's what we need to be careful about. But I think the good thing about nowadays is we're bringing in actual good players and we're
Yeah.
bringing in youngsters. We're seeing Skip. He can come off the bench. We're seeing Tanganga. We know he's getting some game time, and we're seeing Roden. So I think that's the good thing about our squad depth is that we're now looking to youngsters. Nuno seems very interested in playing the youth, so I'm looking forward. Obviously, you can be optimistic with Tottenham, but we could get relegated for all we know.
Don't say that.
It's
Don't end the show with saying relegation. Don't say that.
okay. I'll be extremely optimistic. Top four, that's the aim. I think
Of
it
course,
can't.
it's always the aim, man.
Yeah,
And let's keep them high spirits, man. Let's keep them high spirits.
yeah.
Alex, I'm gonna let you round us out, but yeah, come on, you Spurs.
Yeah, man. I think that's a perfect way to end it. Come on, you Spurs. The future is looking bright. Like you said, Charlie, a lot brighter than it was a few weeks ago. I trust Paratici. I trust Nuno. Do I trust Daniel Levy?
Who
No,
knows?
but we'll see how it goes. But I think if Paratici's at the driving seat, then
He's there. He's there.
yeah, it can only be good. What a man! And that is
Fabio's White
perfect to
Army.
end up with
Fabio's White
positivity.
Army.
Yeah,
Fabio's White Army. That's what it is. That's what it is now.
Fabio, exactly, man. Fabio's White Army. Steve Hitchin, where's Steve Hitchin? I don't know, but
Who cares? Who
Fabio's White
cares?
Army.
Anyway, that was a fun one. That was a fun one, lads. We'll go again soon.